everybody, it's me, Black Voice, live in the living room. And I'm here to talk about Tariq Nasheed and Tucker Carlson. Now, before I start, I just want to say that this is my opinion about what I think about the situation. My opinion. So I've got tons of emails and tons of messages saying, well, you know, your views were up because you're talking about Tariq Nasheed and Tommy Sotomayor and this and that. Hey, it's YouTube. I can give my opinion. And guess what? Those people, two people I just named, they talk about other people as well. So I'm just giving my opinion. The second, I don't want to say a debate, but second conversation between Tariq Nasheed and Tucker Carlson. I'm going to play it. I'm going to give you guys my opinion. And y'all let me know what y'all think in my comment section.
Tucker Carlson tonight. Donald Trump is officially the president-elect of the United States, the Electoral College having voted yesterday. Many of Donald Trump's critics, meanwhile, have also reached a milestone. They're officially hysterical, some having reached a diagnosable level of panic and overstatement. It isn't just that the other guy won. In their view, it's the end of civilization itself, the beginning of a post-apocalyptic hellscape where Nazis fill the upper ranks of our government. Where'd they get that idea? Well, maybe from people like our next guest. Tariq Nasheed hosts a podcast, writes books and movies, has his own radio show. He's a robust presence on Twitter where, just this morning, he wrote this, quote, Trump has appointed to his cabinet people from the alt-right, a white supremacist sect that literally throws up Nazi salutes, hashtag never my president. Tariq joins us now. Tariq, thanks for coming on. So I looked at a list of the president-elect's cabinet appointments. Which one of them throws up Nazi salutes, literally, as you said?
Well, no. Well, Steve Bannon, he's associated with that alt-right organization, which is really nothing more than a sect of white supremacy. And those alt-right people, they were in a federal building at the Ronald Reagan building, throwing up Nazi salutes in the Steve Spencer, all of these, not Steve Spencer, but Richard Spencer, all of these guys are basically open white supremacists who practices Nazism. So, and Trump is associated with that, just like Reverend Wright was associated with Barack Obama.
Well, wait a second.
For that.
You don't say he was associated. Yes. You said appointed people to his cabinet who throw up Nazi salutes. Steve Bannon, by the way, is not in the cabinet. Has Steve Bannon thrown up a Nazi salute that you...
Okay. I'm stopping it there. Okay. He asked Tariq Nasheed a simple question. Who was throwing up Nazi salutes? Tariq Nasheed turned it and switched it to Ronald Reagan in the 1980s. Now, this is my question. Fox 4 has had Tariq Nasheed on there twice, I say in the past couple weeks. And there's two things I want to know. Because as much as he talked about white supremacy, you wouldn't think that Fox 4 would let him on that news station to give an interview. So that makes me wonder, is Fox 4 agenda A, to show how dumb some black people are? Or B, is Tariq Nasheed getting paid to pump up black folks? Once again, it's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to that, but I just want to know, like, because this man talks about white supremacy a whole lot, and I'm just curious, is this man getting compensated to make black people look ignorant, or is he getting compensated to? No, is Fox 4's agenda to make black folks look stupid? And this, like I said, the second one, is it Tariq Nasheed is getting paid to pump up black folks and, you know, have black folks to scrambling thinking that all white folks dislike them? Let's keep rolling.
Perfect and proof.
But Steve Bannon is a part, and he was representing that whole alt-right movement. So if we're going
Was
to
Steve
play
Bannon at this meeting?
let's
I mean,
not
what
do
does
that.
Steve Bannon have to do with this?
Well, the same thing. He was associated with the people doing it. Just like how you guys associate me with Black Lives Matter, and I have nothing to do with it. Steve Bannon was representing, and he was associated with those alt-right people who are nothing more than white supremacists.
Fox 4 has never associated Tariq Nasheed with Black Lives Matter. I'm not down with none of the Black Lives Matter movement. They do them, I do me. But I have never heard Fox 4 say Tariq Nasheed is associated with Black Lives Matter.
We can go deeper than that.
Okay,
and if we go
we've
deeper
already
than
gone
that,
pretty deep.
with the Tucker, if we go deep, but we haven't gone deep enough, Tucker. But I want to get factual too. But the whole campaign was run on a white supremacist platform. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Here's my point. You have a lot of venues. People listen to you. You've got 160,000 Twitter followers. You've written a bunch of books. People believe you, and people are worried about Trump, and they don't know what this administration is going to look like. And here you come out in public this morning and say he's appointed people to his cabinet who are Nazis, literally, to quote you, who are giving the Nazis salute. And that's not actually true. And you knew it wasn't true when you said it, and yet you're whipping people into a frenzy.
And it's not true when you're saying it now. It's not true when you're saying it now because I didn't say that. And that's the problem. With systematic white supremacy, you get to label people and say that they said things that they didn't say. No, you didn't read my...
How are they labeling the guy? How they labeling Tariq Nasheed? The guy simply read what Tariq tweeted on Twitter. That's all the man did. And he asked Tariq a simple question. Tariq goes on to say Fox 4 is a bunch of white supremacists and accused the man of lying, and the man simply, he read, and they posted it on the news, on Fox News, what he said. So the man just read everything that Tariq tweeted word for word.
You didn't read my tweet. You just put your own thing to it, Tucker, which is kind of something that you do. Ask me what I said, and I'll be glad to answer that, Tucker. I'll be glad to answer it, but don't add nothing else to it, though.
Just want to jog your memory now, Tariq. Trump has appointed people to his cabinet.
I know what I said.
Right.
I know what I said, Tucker.
Who literally throw Nazi salutes, and that's just not true. So my question is, isn't it irresponsible of you to say something that inflammatory that you know isn't true? Look, you may disagree with Trump, and that's fine. But he hasn't appointed Nazis to his cabinet.
What you're saying isn't true. Sir, he's appointing a guy who's associated with the alt-right, and the alt-right, they are literally throwing up Nazi signs. Not only that, Donald Trump himself, he is disenfranchised and discriminated against black people his whole career. So this is not something that I'm just reaching out of a bag. And there's other people associated with Trump in the cabinet who have practiced systematic racism for years. So I'm just not pulling anything out of a bag. Even in the campaign, black people were getting beat up and called racial names. So I'm not pulling something out of thin air, Tucker. I'm not pulling anything out of thin air.
Really quick questions. What do you think, if there are literally Nazis in the cabinet, what do you think Ben Carson, who's going to be the HUD secretary, thinks of that? Is he involved in that too?
Well, just because you get an individual black person and tokenize that black person, no matter how qualified he is, no matter how qualified a black person is, if you tokenize a black person and put it in a system of white supremacy, that doesn't negate the system of white supremacy. You just put a black person as the face of white supremacy. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. So I want to ask you about some stuff that you've written, because I think it's important for viewers to know who you are, okay? Because people take you seriously. Now, you are, in addition to a lot of other things, the author.
Now, Tariq Nasheed is always quick to say the token Negro, the token Negro. That could be true, but, you know, Ben Carson is still a black man who made it to a higher plateau than, you know, your normal black person is from the inner city. So, is Ben Carson wrong for accepting his position and taking the position that he has, being a successful black man? I don't think so. I think Tariq Nasheed is a successful black man, you know, and I don't think people look at him as a token Negro. You know, so like I said, you got to ask what's Fox News agenda and what is Tariq Nasheed's agenda. Makes you wonder.
number of books on dating. One of them is called The Art of Macking. You've written a couple others. And I just want to read you, I was reading it today, it's an interesting book. Chapter 6, Guaranteed Ways to Get Sex from Women. And I'm quoting you. In this chapter, I will give some tried and proven techniques that will help you talk a woman into giving it up. I will also offer you precise rebuttals to every objection a woman may have to giving it up. You say this, the number one lame thing men say to get sex, I love you. You describe that as the bold lie approach. And then you say this, if a woman isn't ready for sex, you quote, 1, question her maturity, 2, minimize the significance of sex, and 3, tell her what she wants to hear. Now, you're advocating lying in order to take advantage of women sexually. This is in your book. I'm not misquoting it.